name is Judy Reed, and on behalf of John Buddie and the attempt to put together the history of the Collie for the Collie Club of America, we are here interviewing Pat Starkweather of Glen Hill Collies.
I guess I'm a historical site, right?
Pat, maybe the best place to begin is in the beginning. Can you give us me an idea of how you started out in Collies?
I started in Collies because as a child I read the Terhune books, and in particular there was one called Lochinvar Luck, which told about a show dog. And I became a convert, and I decided from that time on I was going to breed dogs and breed Collies. And there was a show in that Lochinvar Luck book which was, I'm quite certain it was supposed to be the Westminster show. And I always wanted to win that, and I did. So two times I had a dog that won up there, which is, it's not quite such an important show now as it was then. But that's what started me.
Well, who were your mentors then?
I would say Mrs. Browning of Tocallan Collies. She had a beautiful, elegant type of a dog, and I used to go to her place and get some bitches bred, and also I bought several dogs from her. Mrs. Long, who went to all the trouble of taking a bitch from the bench at a show and showing me exactly how a dog should move, how a collie should move. And let's see, Mr. Van Dyke, Bill Van Dyke, who was kind of a grandfatherly type. He was kind of a rascal too, you might say, but anyway, he was instrumental in teaching most of the people in his area about collies, and I was from that general area.
If you were to begin today, who would you choose as your mentors now?
Well, I think probably John Buddie would head the list. He's certainly about as knowledgeable as anyone alive today and has proven it through his show record and breeding record. But he's also shown it because he's so willing to be helpful and help train people or teach people. And I would say probably the Hausers, who also have phenomenal success and are willing to share their knowledge.
Who's your favorite collie of the past?
Oh, my favorite collie of the past is Champion Glen Hill Dreamer's Nobleman. He was the one who started my whole line of Glen Hill. Although I had had some other dogs of other lines, he was the one who really established the type that I wanted and have continued to breed. And then he was my favorite, I guess.
How about today? Who's your favorite collie today?
Today, I don't have any trouble deciding that it's Valedictorian. That's the dog that was on the front porch in the beginning of this tape, and he's just an angel, beautiful thing, and such a personality. That's my dog.
I'd like to know what is the most memorable piece of advice that you ever got?
It was from a woman who has been extremely successful in dogs. She's had champions in probably 25 breeds. One of her dogs won Best in Show at the Madison Square Garden show. I guess you don't get any better than that. And she told me that she felt something we should all breeders, exhibitors should bear in mind is that with all the time, money, and effort that you put into your dogs, you only have 3 minutes in which to impress the judge. Just think of that. Just think of the hours that go into that dog, and you have to make your judge appreciate the dog in just 3 minutes, which is what the American Kennel Club allows. So training, presentation, grooming, everything is so important.
What is the most outrageous thing that's ever happened to you in all the years that you've been in Collies?
Oh, I would say I've been a judge for many, many years. I don't know, maybe 20 years. And during that time, I never had anyone approach me in a way that was designed to influence my decisions. But I had one thing that I thought was quite funny. I had a Champion Glen Hill full dress at stud, and before I was about to judge a great big show, major show somewhere, someone called me up and they said they had a beautiful bitch and that they wanted to breed her to full dress, and they were planning to breed her to full dress, but they would not breed her to full dress unless she finished within the next week or so, because then she would, they'd have to not breed her and wait and finish her. But if they finished her right then, that would be great. So I thought that was an attempt at a bribe, and that bitch didn't do a darn thing at that show, I'll tell you.
Pat, is there a pattern for success that can apply to everyone?
No, I'm afraid there's no generalization. It would be nice if there were, but I would say that you have to be very dedicated in this field if you're going to do well in it, and you have to realize that there'll probably be more money going out than coming in. No, I would say it's probably the same as any other field. Work hard and pray a lot.
What disturbs you most about the fancy today?
Well, I think it was nicer when I first started out because there were many more owner-handled dogs, and I guess probably there still are a lot in the Northeast, but where I live here in Florida, almost all of the shows are loaded with professionally handled dogs, and I used to love it when it was more of an amateur sport.
Is that what you would advise for newcomers?
I would advise for newcomers to do what I did, and that was hire the very best handler you could possibly get. In my case, it was John, I can't think of his name right now, Frank Ashby. A wonderful handler, wonderful groomer. But I went to the shows and I watched what he did, and as I was watching, I was learning, and so then I finally was able to beat him. That's the way to go, I think.
If you could gather all the collie breeders, both big and small, in one room and do some very straight talking, what would you like to talk about?
I think I would say that the biggest problem with collie breeders, in my opinion, is that they really don't know structure. As a overall group, I would say they know less about structure than breeders of other breeds. And of course our dogs are all covered up, they've got that great coat. The answer to that is not to study most smooth collies, because most smooth collies are put together very badly indeed. There are some that are structured properly, but I would say watch the Dobes and watch the Boxers and the German Shepherds, and try to learn something about shoulder layback. Try to learn about nice level backs. Try to learn about a hindquarter where the thigh is strong and full instead of kind of weak, like so many of them are very weak in the upper thigh. I would say that's what I'd say to them. Study structure. Try to really learn what a well-built dog is. And you haven't heard me say much about heads, and it isn't that I don't value a great head. I feel it's the hallmark of the breed, but I do feel strongly too that that great head without the proper thing to carry it around is not valuable.
As a judge now, what would you like to see exhibitors do that they are not doing?
Well, the collie exhibitors are probably the worst that I know of. I have actually seen a judge who is also a breeder exhibitor bring a collie up in front of the judge and put up the bait and have this beautiful, beautiful head looking up at the judge while the front legs were crossed just like that. And the exhibitor wasn't even aware of it, not even looking. You have to remember there's more to it than that beautiful head and eye. And does that answer your question?
I think so.
Okay.
What I'd like to know your opinion about is what the most important aspect of the Collie Club of America, the club itself, is today, or yesteryear.
Well, the Collie Club of America is a remarkably outgoing, outgiving organization compared with the national specialties, national clubs of other breeds. Since I'm involved in several breeds, I know that, have reason to know it. I would say that I think the fact that they give you a yearbook and a newsletter and a bulletin is really quite remarkable, and they're all informative. I would say they could all use a lot more informative articles, though. I mean, after all, you can. There's no end to the amount of information that's available, and it should be widely dispersed a little more than it is, I think.
Do you think we have enough positive articles and educational material?
Yes. I just think that they, maybe I'm saying they should be more interesting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff is pretty dry.
Well, as the last question, it took me some time to try to figure out how to wind up the interview, and the last question always seems like it's the most important one, and it took me some time, but I finally found one, and here it is. Assuming that it is important to leave a legacy to the collie world, what kind of legacy would you like to leave?
Well, I think the legacy is present in the dogs that I have bred, and I have been asked, for instance, how do you start a line? And I would say probably the answer to that begins with, why start a line? There's no point in trying to do it unless you have some particular aspect that is yours alone, or that you feel is more important. Something that doesn't exist in the breed and you want to make it exist in the breed. And when I first started, it was almost impossible to find dogs that had proper balance for the collie. In order to get what I consider proper collie balance, you almost have to go against the state of nature. What I like to see on a collie is a very long, clean, lean head with no width of back skull, and just coming right straight back from the end of the muzzle all the way back to the ears. And combine that with a nice, well-rounded, well-filled-out body and good heavy bone. Now, it's the easiest thing in the world to get a chunky dog, a well-rounded dog, with a short, broad head. It's very easy to get a long, lean head on a tall, rangy, lanky dog. But when you are trying to combine opposite qualities, like a long, lean head and a well-rounded, filled-out body and heavy bone, you're going against nature. And I think the only thing that's important in dog breeding is to go against nature, because otherwise we'd all revert back and have wolves running around. And so in order to produce the thing I desire most, which is the balance of the lean, clean head and the elegance of style, and yet a nice, well-filled out, round chest, full loin, rounded rump on the dog, and lovely bone and tight feet. And I have been able to do that, and I've been able to do it over a period of many generations. We can start, speaking of some dogs out here that I mentioned were tail male Glen Hill for a long ways back, we can start, interestingly enough, back with my nobleman dog, whom I mentioned as my first favorite. And now he sired a dog called Emperor Jones. Emperor Jones sired Full Dress. Full Dress is well spread throughout at this breed. He's represented, almost all lines have some Full Dress behind him. Full Dress sired a dog called Champion Glen Hill Star Ridge Stardust. Stardust sired a dog called Dorian Gray. Dorian Gray sired Flashback. Flashback sired the dog called, who am I thinking of? Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades sired Floridian, and Floridian sired these two puppies that you saw out here. Now, I didn't count the generations, but interestingly enough, if you looked back over all those dogs, you would find they definitely carried that same balance, which I feel is my legacy to the breed.
Well, thank you, Pat. It's been a real treat for me personally to do this, and I'd like to thank John Buddie for giving me the opportunity. And it's been a real lovely day. We've had some sun this afternoon, and we've seen some very pretty dogs. And I'd just like to say thank you very much.
Thank you for interviewing me. It was fun. Certainly fun meeting you. And this is in Middleburg, Florida. We're photographing here in December, which is kind of not the prettiest time of the year in northern Florida. But, and I have a companion. This is Glenhill Valedictorian. And Valedictorian is our dog we consider our judicious outcross. He's sired by headmaster, Champion Twin Creeks headmaster. And he's out of Champion Glenhill Campus Cutie. Campus Cutie is a very closely line-bred Glenhill animal. And we're going to take you around and show you the dogs. We have quite a few of them here to show you. And so in just a moment we'll go to the other part of the kennel. Or this is actually the house. We'll take you right around to the kennel and show you the other. Well, we're starting our tour around here with a little smooth puppy. This is from the very smooth, first smooth litter I ever had. Puppy called His Majesty. And he is sired by our Champion Glenhill, Champion Fox Bride's Peterbilt. And Peterbilt is by Valedictorian, the dog that you saw on the porch. Come on, baby. This puppy is about 4 months old. Come on. Naturally, he won't put his ears up for me. Hey, come on here. Usually his ears are his prettiest thing. Now we'll go on to the next dog, and the next one is Valedictorian. Good boy. You think you're in the show ring, don't you? Yeah, come on, turn that pretty face over here. This is Valedictorian again. He's the one who's by Champion Twin Creeks headmaster and out of Champion Glenhill Campus Cutie. Campus Cutie is quite well remembered from the Collie Club of America, where she won the Hunter Memorial Trophy as best in the American bred classes. She made a lot of friends for herself, and people still ask about her. This dog was shown in the Atlanta Collie Club of America, where he went second in the American bred class. I haven't really pursued his career as much as I should have. It's kind of hard when I live here and my husband hasn't been too well. Okay, that's good. Now we'll go on to the next one. The next one's a pup. Hey, boy. Hi, sweetheart. This one is called Glenhill Top of the Line. Topper. Topper. Good boy. Now, we think this is quite a remarkable coat for a pup that's born in Florida. He's never been out of Florida in his life, as a matter of fact, and he's 10 months old, sired by Glenhill Floridian. And Floridian is just a straight line-bred Glenhill dog. He's sired by Champion Vaughn Glenhill Ace of Spades. And that goes directly back through the tail male line all the way back to Champion Glenhill Dreamers Nobleman. Many generations. Straight tail male Glenhill. And his brother is in this next pen. We'll walk down there and look at him. Hello. This is Glenhill Knight of the Round Table. He's a litter brother to Top of the Line. And if you could get a picture of the two of them looking toward us together here. Can you see them both? Mm-hmm. Okay. Good dogs, yeah. We think their coats are quite remarkable for 10-month-old Florida puppies. Knight of the Round Table has been sold to a breeder in the Philippines. And he will be shown over there, but he may be shown a little bit in the States before he goes. And we're being more and more sorry every day that we sold him. But I know the breeder will, I know it will help the breed a lot over there. Okay, now we'll go on to the next dog. If we want to come around this way. This is a nice little bitch sired by Floridian. Hello, darling. Her name is Angel. Glenhill Nobody's Angel. And she's a little devil, in other words. We're proud of her, too. About a year old. And she lost her puppy coat, and she's just starting to get a coat back. She's not in anywhere near full coat right now. Okay, we'll go on to the Sheltie. Hi, babe. Now this proves that you can also get a coat on Shelties in Florida. And we have absolutely proven that it's all genetic because these dogs, they don't live in air conditioning, and they just live a normal life. Fortunately, we have quite a bit of shade here, which is nice for them, but their genes are what puts this lovely coat on them. Come on, babe. This dog, incidentally, is an interesting breeding. He goes directly back to an English import. I brought a dog in from England called Champion Lonesome of Nutbush I guess about 20 years ago. That dog finished in one weekend in the States, incidentally. And this is a great-grandson. The outcross from that English stock is to Peter Pumpkin. There's also a little Valdon's talk of the town in there. Good boy. Okay, we got another judicious outcross here. This one is a little bitch by Champion Tartanside, apparently, and out of a straight Glen Hill bitch. Let's see if we can get her ears up and get a nice look at that. She's got an awfully pretty head on her. Come on, baby. Good girl. There, come on, arch your little neck. We got so many pine needles around here. Okay, and then we have another one to go to. This is another tri-bitch in the next pen. Down here. Hi, girl. Now, this is a 10-month-old tri-female. She is from the same litter. Come on. Oh, you look like you needed a bath before you went on television. She's been playing around. And, we got a lot of, what do they call it, pine tar in here under these are all pine trees. And I guess that's what she managed to put around her neck. But anyway, she's a litter sister to those 10-month-old males that you saw up front. They were Glen Hill Top of the Line and Knight of the Round Table. And this one is she's a daughter of Floridian, and we call her Florida Flower. Come on, Flower. Hey, Flower, come on. You gonna put your ears up for me? She stands around and poses with her neck a mile high most of the time, which of course she's not doing right now. Now you can look down this way a little bit and see how the pens are arranged here, and we have everything is under shade. Such an important thing when you're living in Florida. Okay, I think that's fine for now. A pretty, are you on? Mm-hmm. Pretty shot of Topper. Hey, Topper! He's around posing with his neck in the air, and I was hoping we would get a shot of that.